What do you guys think is the hardest part about being a K-pop idol? Being a K-pop idol is often seen as a very glamorous career. To be a K-pop idol, you have to debut. There's hundreds and thousands of people that are trainees in a company, and you have to train for days and months and years, and you have to go through years and years of training. If you're lucky, hopefully it's under 5 years to be able to be picked, put into an idol group, and debut. When you actually are able to debut, you've made it. But today, we are going to do a deep dive into the girl group Stellar, who unfortunately faced a lot of traumatic events during their career as an idol. Even after gaining a lot of success from their hit songs, they still went through so much trauma that the group ended up disbanding completely. Stella debuted in 2011 with 4 members, Kayoung, Jeonyul, Isul, and Joa, with their song titled Rocket Girl. Unfortunately, the song titled Rocket Girl was unsuccessful. The following year, they released a new song called UFO. Unfortunately, UFO was just as unsuccessful as Rocket Girl, so 2 members, Isul and Joa, left the group and they were quickly replaced by Minnie and Hyoeun. In 2013, the group released a song called Study, and it actually did pretty well. It debuted in the top 100, so it was their first song that helped them rise to popularity. After seeing some success, the group released their first EP called Marionette, and it was very clear that the agency wanted to push them in a new concept and a completely new direction. So when they first debuted, they said they wanted to go for a very pure, innocent, and cutesy look, kind of like A-Pink, who was the epitome of that pure and cute look that they had, and they completely nailed that concept. They were going after that look. However, with the release of Marionette, they just completely changed into a very provocative, sexy concept. During this time, the group received a lot of heavy criticism. You guys know that Korea is a pretty conservative country, especially when it comes to women showing their bodies online or just in the media. I remember I didn't even listen to any of their music, even though they were very popular. I didn't watch any music videos because their image of them being a very provocative and sexy girl group made me want to stay away from them, especially as a young girl. Now, the company did some very controversial and questionable things to promote Marionette. They asked their fans to like some images on Facebook to reveal a certain member's body part. Kayoung later on said that after 3 to 4 years of not getting their name out there, they were finally able to see some success with Marionette. And since their concept was very catered towards the male gaze, they received a lot of eyes on them. And the music video ended up becoming a very hot topic. The music video ended up receiving a 19+ rating, but despite all the controversies, it became their best-selling single. Marionette actually ended up peaking at number 34 in Billboard's K-pop's Hot 100 chart. Kayoung later on did an interview to explain this drastic concept, and they said that when they first debuted, they were going towards, like I said, more of a cutesy girl group, and their song, like Rocket Girl, UFO, they had aliens in the music video, which was very fitting because a lot of the girls were around. I know the youngest girl in the girl group was 20, and she was filming such provocative scenes in the music video for Marionette. She said that in the beginning that they were able to get a lot of attention because they were the group that was produced by Shinhwa's Eric. Shinhwa is also like the first gen super popular K-pop group. They released about 3 albums prior to that, but they just didn't get any attention. So the company was in a very difficult situation. Shinhwa's Eric ended up leaving shortly after that. And so it was just their group, the CEO, and the manager. Kayoung said there was a point when none of the members even had the money to just go sit at a cafe and get coffee. And every time a celebrity van would pass by, they would hide their faces because they were quite embarrassed. Even though the music video was a huge success and it definitely had a lot of people talking about them, Kayoung said that they didn't even know that the video was going to be edited like that. She said that the agency had tricked them into filming such provocative scenes at a very young age, and she didn't even know that there were hidden meanings behind certain shots. When you type in the music video or the group name on Google or on Naver, one of the suggestions is actually the milk scene. There was a scene in the music video where one of the members had to drink milk. And when she saw it on the script, it just said, wake up, you're missing your lover, and go into the fridge, pick up milk, and just drink it. And they thought, okay, yeah, it's the morning. They want to portray a morning scene of them missing their lover. So they said they agreed to it. They simply thought that it was just to convey a morning scene, and they didn't even think about hidden meanings at all and how it could have been shot. The member ended up drinking the milk for the scene because she has to do whatever they tell her to. And as they were shooting, they told her to spill a little bit of the milk as you're drinking. And she said that it made sense because, oh, maybe I'm supposed to portray someone that's helpless, someone that doesn't even have the energy to drink milk properly. So she did as she was told. It was only after the music video had already been released and they were reading the comments and they could see how some people could look it in a different way. This member that had to shoot the scene was called Cheonyu, and she was only 20 years old at that time. And like I said, Korea is a pretty conservative country. We don't openly talk about these things. So obviously she had no idea what she was getting herself into. She said that she was so traumatized by this that she can't even drink milk to this day because it reminds her of when she was tricked into filming something so suggestive at such a young age. You could guess that she was hurt. She had no idea what the purpose of that scene was. She said that during the filming of the music video, because she was the youngest, she obviously thought she was gonna be given the least controversial scenes, but it turns out that she was given the most controversial. It makes me so sad because as a young girl, and I'm sure anyone that obviously wasn't in the group from an outsider's perspective, were like, oh, those girls definitely knew what they were doing. They signed up for this. They want fame that bad that they signed up for it. Little did we know all of the mind games and manipulation that was going on behind the scenes. Obviously, the members, Stella, they didn't approve of this concept that the agency was trying to push on them, and they did try other concepts after that. In 2016, they released a song called Sting, and in the music video, they wanted to portray more of like a girlfriend vibe, and the group said that they tried to wear less makeup. They tried to cover up more because they wanted to break free from their previous concept. They just wanted their fans to feel closer to them and they wanted to feel more relatable. Unfortunately, all the other concepts that they tried did not do as well as their provocative concept. I was very shocked to find this out because I didn't even know that they try to branch out in different concepts. Kayoung said that because so many people only remembered them for their Marionette concept, it's kind of embedded in the audience mind that, oh, Stella is a very provocative, adult-only concept group. But she said that they actually did try other concepts, but it just didn't do well because people weren't interested. A lot of people only responded to their sexier concepts. Now, this is when it starts to get more dramatic because after the agency saw that they only could get a lot of success with their more provocative concepts, the agency maintained more of a tight grip on their image, and anytime the members wanted to have more control of their image and what they're putting out there, the agency would threaten them with penalty fees, allegedly. Because they were so young at the time, they were barely making any money, which I'll get into that later. They were so afraid of this large sum of money as penalty fees that they would allegedly have to pay, so they just stayed quiet and did whatever the agency told them to do. Kayoung said that whenever they would tell them, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing this concept, the agency would be like, well, you might want to rethink our contract. You might want to look at our contract again. During Vibrato, they were given these outfits that they had to dance in, and when they just looked at it for the first time, they said, we can't dance in these. It's a dress with a huge slit down the hips, and you can't dance and focus on your performance if you're worried about any wardrobe malfunctions. The agency kept trying to persuade them and just kept saying, just try, you never know until you try, just put it on. Kayoung said that they were forced to put on these outfits, and they put it on and they tried to convince the agency that they cannot dance in these outfits. So what they did was they took about 5 pictures wearing this outfit, and they said, look, we can't even walk properly. There's no way that we can dance in these. And the agency agreed with them. They were like, yeah, you're right. Like, this is too much. We'll take this off. Forget it happened. But the photos ended up being published without their consent. When they saw the photos had been published, they went up to the agency and complained, we did not consent to these photos being published. And the agency's response was, oh, you didn't know? We didn't tell you? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we won't do it again. We won't do it again. The photos had already been published. Even if they delete it from their website or wherever, there's going to be people that had already saved it. So there was nothing that they could do. And when I watch all these interviews, it makes me really sad because they sound like such sweet girls. One thing about the K-pop industry is that a lot of trainees are underage. They're minors. So they don't really have a lot of experience. And they signed a contract, signing their life away for 7 years. They don't even know how much money they're able to make. They just think, my dream is to be a K-pop star. I want to make it happen. It looks so glamorous. And they sign their life away. And a lot of people end up being stuck in contracts that they can't get out of, and they're being exploited. They're too young to understand the business side of it. They don't even think about getting a lawyer. You need to have money to get a lawyer. So I think a lot of agencies, they try to take advantage. Hayoung said that they were trying to stay strong for one another during this time because if one of them cries or if one of them starts having a panic attack in front of others, then she was afraid that everyone else is just going to collapse. So she said during this time, one by one, the girls would say, will you excuse me for a moment? And they would go into the bathroom, sob, come back with their eyes bloated, and they would act like everything is okay. So they were really only trying to stay strong for one another. She remembers even calling her mom while she was crying and was devastated that these photos came out, and she was worried that no one's gonna marry her now. Hayoung said that the worst part of it was that a lot of people mistook their concept as their personalities. She expressed that they were all such innocent, sweet girls, so oblivious to the world, but because of their very strong, sexy concept, a lot of people just assumed, oh, these girls are partiers, they smoke, they're always partying, they love to meet other men, da 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 da. And they instantly just put these girls in a box. And I think this is a problem that a lot of Korean women fall victim to. If she's too business driven, then some people might be turned off by that because she's just too passionate. She's not gonna be a stay-at-home mom and she's not gonna be submissive. So imagine how much worse it was for these group of girls. They had a special anniversary for their 6 years. They called it the Interstellar Time Travel Through 6 Years. And after that concert, it came out that the members, Hayoung and Jeonyul, would choose not to extend their contract with the entertainment group. In early 2018, the remaining two members, Minnie and Hyun, actually followed in the footsteps of Hayoung and Jeonyul, and they also chose not to extend the contracts anymore. And as a result, the group was officially disbanded. The members have absolutely no regrets about leaving the group. Hayoung actually said in an interview that it wasn't just her that this agency and what they chose to do hurt. They hurt her whole family. And she cried, saying that when her parents would go out and they would be asked, oh, what does your daughter do? They would say, yeah, my daughter's in a K-pop group called Stella. And when their friends searched the images online to look them up, it was only these provocative pictures that would come up. So they would get a lot of questions like, why does your daughter do this? And they were very upset. Now, during a Q&A session on Minnie's YouTube channel, Hayoung said that during their 7 years of being in this girl group, each member received only about 9,000 USD for the 7 years. And mind you, they had several hits. They were performing. They were going out and making their names known and actually I'm sure they made a lot of money for the company. The whole money management process was very sloppy. If you guys don't know, when you are signed to an agency, you are essentially in debt. So the agency might sometimes hook you up with singing lessons, dance lessons, a place to stay at while you're training and before you debut. They fund They help you with any training. But that doesn't come for free. After you debut and you start making money, whatever you earn, the agency will give you, but they will also subtract it from all the debt that you caused them. I'm sure there are agencies that are very clear with their money management process and everything is very clear to them. And if you already come from a wealthy family, you would be able to get a lawyer and help you with that process. However, for a lot of people, a lot of young children, when they first get signed, they might not have a lot of money in the first place. So they wouldn't be able to get a lawyer to have a look through the contract, make sure that everything is very clear. And in Korean society, a lot of kids are brought up with the saying, you have to listen to the elders. You have to listen to the people that are in charge. So it's very rare for you to ask questions, to say, oh, I have some doubts about this. You just do whatever they say. But imagine for 7 years, you only make 9,000 USD. You can get a job, a minimum wage job working part-time at a cafe, and you would make more than that. Hayoung said, despite what other people might think, they really did not make a lot of money. They never got paid correctly. She remembers that when they turned into an adult, because they've been training ever since they were younger, when they became an adult, she said to the agency, we need money. Like, they weren't even giving them pocket money. And they can't find other part-time work because their full-time job is to be a trainee. So she said, I need money. I know that, rent is covered, but I need money for transportation and my phone bills and food. And the agency gave them, here's $500. And you might think, oh, at least the agency gave them a place to sleep at night and to rest their heads. 4 of them lived in one room. They had 2 beds in one room. And if you guys don't know what a one room is essentially like a very small studio. There's a bathroom, there's a kitchen, but everything is very small. It can usually fit like 1 or max 2 people. But imagine 4 people squeezed in there. They had 2 beds, so 2 of them would sleep on each bed. And a lot of members, even though they are so happy that they made the right choice to leave the group, they still carry a lot of trauma. Like Hayoung, a member expressed that to this day, she refuses to wear clothes that show a little bit of her skin. She expressed that she hates it when other people look at her legs and look at her body in a certain way. So she only chooses long pants, long skirts, even just to go out to the grocery store, even just to go out to hang out with a friend. She always covers her body up. So where are the members now? Kayoung is actually a owner of a small cafe, and she's pursuing acting. There's a variety show called Miss Beck, and it's a very eye-opening show. If you guys are interested, you should definitely watch that because it will have you glued to the screen. Singer Baek Ji-young actually works as like a mentor and guide, and they invite a lot of forgotten female singers onto the show. So it's like a documentary type show where they invite all these forgotten singers and they talk about their trauma, their past experiences being a singer, and Baek Ji-young helps guide them to a more successful life. I think this is a really great show because a lot of women are able to just like de-stress and get everything out there. It definitely helps in the healing process, and it's always so encouraging to see other women heal themselves. Jeonyu was able to make a solo debut in 2020. Her song was called Mamacita, and she was able to raise money on a crowdfunding site. In a vlog, Jeonyu mentioned that she still wants to be an entertainer, and she's currently working a part-time job to make her dreams come true. Minhee is now a very successful YouTuber, and she does a lot of different vlogs and videos. It's quite heartwarming because I think all the members are still quite close with each other, and you can see on their social media that they sometimes still hang out and they post pictures together. And I hope that they are doing well. As I was researching on the group Stella, I was so shocked to find a lot of the information out. I think as K-pop grows bigger and bigger, there should be more, therapists. I know Ariana Grande said in an interview that they should have like therapists for child stars. I think mental health should be taken care of. And I think that's something that often gets overlooked in Korea and just kind of swept under the rug. But yeah, that concludes the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my social media links. I will see you guys next time. Bye!